Hey y'all, Tim here. I wanted to make a video about how important it is to have Uber and Lyft on your phone. So, one of the prerequisites of playing piano at retirement communities is having adequate transportation. That doesn't mean that you have to have your own car or your car has to be perfect all the time. Cars get issues, if you have a good vehicle, that's going to really help you because it's going to allow you to fulfill your promises. So you show up on time, you get a good reputation for being accountable and reliable. So, but what happens if your car is not in great shape? This happened to me a couple times. Sometimes a car will get an issue, cars get issues, and so I take it to the mechanic, but I have a gig that day. So I'm freaking out. I'm wondering what's going to happen? What should I do? And in my opinion, looking back on it, I didn't need to freak out. But it was a new situation. I hadn't encountered it before. So what's the best thing to do? In my opinion, the best thing to do is if the gig is within, say, an hour radius of where you are. Actually, you know what? Price-wise, things have changed since I took that Uber. So I would say now about half an hour radius of drive time. Uber to the gig. It might cost you $30, even $40 to get there. Okay. And then you have to get back as well. So that's $80. That's a lot off the top. That's an expense. But it's a business expense, so you can deduct it from your taxes. And this is not official tax advice, so please do your research and consult with a tax professional before doing that. But most importantly, you fulfill your word. You show up when you say you're going to show up, and you play the gig. So what that does is it builds value in your reputation. It builds value in your character, and the activities directors know that they can rely on you. They can trust you to show up and do a good job. And what is I have a lot of emotions about this. What is frustrating and also liberating, and it's an opportunity, but also I'm pissed that this opportunity is there. A lot of musicians, y'all, I'm a musician, and I was like this at one time, are not very reliable. We got our heads in the clouds sometimes. To be an artist, you have to have your head in the clouds to a certain degree. But to be a successful artist that grounds their creativity into the real world, to reach people that it needs to reach, you have to be accountable, and you have to have good time management, and you have to show up when you say you're going to show up. So it's a balance. It's a yin and a yang. Another solution is if your car is inoperable, just ask a friend to drive you, if that's an option. Ask a friend or family member to drive you, and then do something nice for them. If they're like my family, then they're not going to ask for anything in return, but I still try to do something nice for them. Very recently, actually, I had to borrow my stepmom's car because my car is out of commission. And, I had a couple options, but I told them, and I didn't want to accept the help at first because, honestly, I have trouble accepting help sometimes. That's just part of who I am. I like to do things on my own, and I really value independence and personal sovereignty. But I accepted the help. And then I vacuumed the car out, and I took it for a wash. And I put some gas in it. It's reciprocal, y'all. It's reciprocal. So if you have to borrow a friend or family member's car, then be nice to them. Even if they say they don't need anything in return, just do something nice. Thirdly, when you're buying a vehicle, think about what your goals are. If you're in the process of buying a car for this particular business. If your goals in this business are just to make an extra couple $100s a month so you can save up and take your family on a nice vacation, or take yourself on a nice vacation, or buy something nice, or maybe you just want to save up, then you don't need necessarily a very efficient vehicle. I like fuel-efficient vehicles because 4 or 5, sometimes 6 times a month, I drive out of town on the highway. And I like the efficiency that a fuel-efficient vehicle gets me. I'm not looking for a luxury car. I've never been a luxury car person. I'm always like, what's going to be the best way to get me from point A to point B? And if I'm driving to, say, Little Rock twice a month, then I want a car that does well on the highway that makes good gas mileage, because that's an expense to me. There's ways of deducting it, yes, but actually deduct the miles and not the gas cost. Again, this is not tax advice. I'm just telling you what I do. Talk to your tax professional to get tailored advice for you. But I really like Honda Civics. And that's just me. I think Hondas are great cars, and they'll get you to where you need to go. So basically, if you're playing a lot of out-of-town shows, get a car that has good gas mileage. If you're not, then it doesn't really matter. Just get something that's reliable, that'll get you to where you need to go. All right, that's my spiel on transportation to gigs. I hope this was helpful. Like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, stay musical.